Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Mana Zone. This episode we are going to be talking about just Amonkhet in general.
Our experiences with the pre-release, what we think of the set, flavor, power level of the set, stuff like that. And then theories for our and where the story seems to be going. Now you've read more of the story than I have at this point, right?
I haven't read this week's.
I'm super behind now. I skim them and then
I get a lot of stuff from the
from Tumblr.
Well, yeah, from everybody's recaps and stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway,
first, do you want to just talk about some cards that we like from the set?
Well, we should probably talk about our pre-release.
Oh yeah, the pre-release.
Because we drafted the same coloration, right?
Yeah, we both went. Well, actually, I ended up cutting black.
Yeah, nice. I didn't do anything like that. I think I cut down. I want to say I cut down red a bit.
Yeah.
Or white.
Yeah.
One of those.
Well,
and then...
so we went to the Saturday pre-release event at our local game store with some friends of ours and
larger group than usual.
Yeah, and
we
we opened really good as a whole. Yeah, I opened an invocation.
Yeah, you opened an invocation.
Yeah.
Then James got like two mythics.
Got
2 mythics.
James got one of his packs was As Foretold and a foil Liliana. And I think James got 3 mythics because he also got the big fancy angel, which I got.
Yeah.
And a lot of people at our pre-release opened that fancy angel.
Really? I know.
Yeah.
I know. Isis had Kefnet, and then she also got
the pre-release promo Nissa, which was awesome.
So stupid.
Yeah.
And then I think Isaac didn't pull any mythics, and I know I didn't.
Yeah, no, Isaac pulled mythics. Isaac got Hazoret.
Right, he did get Hazoret. I completely forgot about Hazoret, and then you pulled Ronus later.
I pulled Ronus in the Gideon Planeswalker deck.
And then we also pulled Bantu, right?
We don't have Bantu or Oketra. We have 3 of them.
And then I don't remember Ben's pool at all.
He just had some stupid good rares.
Yeah. Like
a few of us opened Glorybringer, which was James opened Glorybringer as his promo.
That's a great promo. How much is that?
Probably a lot now since he's went up in price.
I know my promo stacked. I just got one of the cycling lands.
Yeah, that's still good.
It's
Isaac got a cycling land too.
Like it's a good promo. It's just not what I'm gonna use, and it's not what I used for the pre-release. So.
Yeah, I ended up opening 2 cycling lands, Rakdos and Dimir, which I ran the Rakdos one just so I could splash. What's that card called? The black just exile target creature.
Oh, I know the one. It's the 4-drop, right?
It's a 5-drop.
5-drop. Is it one of the split spells, maybe?
No, it was just Final Reward.
Yeah,
I splashed that because that's so good. It's worth
it's
splashing.
It's a stupidly good card.
Yeah,
I kind of wish I'd pulled that. God, I tried to build the Minotaur deck.
Oh yeah,
I tried to build the Minotaur deck.
Because you opened the Minotaur Legend.
Yeah, I opened the legendary creature and I opened the other Rakdos Minotaur.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I can go for this. I can do this. I'll just like first strike and that'll be my thing.
Yeah. I originally when I was opening my packs was like, oh, this is stupid. I'm going blue-white all the way because I opened the mono-blue split card.
Yeah.
As my promo, and I got that blue rare, the fancy new perspectives, and I think I got a few other just really good blue stuff. My white was stupid, especially after I opened my invocation. Oh yeah, my invocation was Worship. I didn't even say that.
Yeah.
Which was, I drew it in one game out of the whole tournament, which kind of sucked, but it won me that game, so I survived 4 turns after. I should have died, just because I couldn't die.
And then, I mean, like, we both went 2-2, so it wasn't awful.
Yeah. One of my last round was very dumb because my opponent was on blue-white flyers, and I was like, oh, I can handle flyers with my deck. I have a lot of just Boros like active threats and everything, and I can just curve out. and then he managed to just throw blockers constantly and just kind of survive, and then he played Approach the Second Sun, and I knew I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do anything against it because he was able to survive until he drew a druid again. Like
you faced that guy too.
Yeah,
he only got me with it once, but the other in our other game he just kind of like he just blitzed me with flyers and there was nothing I could do
because he just wrecked me. He did it both games. And, because I had worship and he didn't care. He was never attacking. He's just sitting there with embalm tokens, just blocking everything. And then just something dies, embalm it. He had, the dude that exerts and brings things back, and he was doing that with just embalm creatures.
Yeah.
Devoted Cropmate. And he was just bringing back embalm creatures, and then blocking with them, embalming them. It was stupid.
That seems like... That's actually an interesting loop. I wonder if that'll see play in anything.
Well, you can't actually you can't actually use the ones you've embalmed. It doesn't actually loop. Yeah, he was just using it to get a lot more
But I mean, like, you could get something creatures. like something that's probably going to die pretty quickly, like Glory Bound Initiate or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Vizier of Remedies if you're doing something weird with white -1/-1 counters.
Yeah, but overall, just things that maybe stood out a lot during the pre-release. I mean, I opened the Angel of Sanctions. God, is he good. Like, I have, some stupid plays I had with him was I got to play him when my opponent, played a 6-mana Nissa, having her hit for 4, and I played him, and my opponent plus Nissa to scry, and I played him, exiled the Nissa, and then he died, I think, a turn later, and the Nissa came back and instantly died because she entered with 0 loyalty because it's X, and then I just embalmed him and took his Glorybringer, which was just dumb.
That seems kind of painful. I don't think I got anything like that. I think, like, the main combo pieces that I really like from this set are, I really dig the white cartouche.
Oh, yeah.
The white cartouche saved my ass so many times just because it gives her strike, creates a 1/1 with vigilance. It's only a 1-drop, so if the creature you have attached to it dies, you're probably not losing out on a whole lot. Cartouche of Zeal less so.
I didn't. I had the Cartouche of Zeal and a few black cartouches, but I didn't end up running. But I had the red trial, which the red trial, like, I had 3 of the Cartouche of Zeal and 2 red trials, which was really powerful. And I mean, frequently what I just did was I would just cast a Desert Ceradon and put the Cartouche of Zeal on it and then hit right away for 7, which was just really good.
I'm wondering if the trials and the cartouches are going to see any play in Standard, just because, like, they seem interesting enough to utilize within a build, without having to rely so heavily, like we had our vehicle focused builds back on Kaladesh, and they were very much like, you play vehicles now. You play this new kind of card and you play them forever.
Yeah, until they the format shaked out to have this is the best one of that thing. Which I could see cartouches, specifically red and white, since they're I think the best cartouches.
Yeah, they're cheap.
And like they're just good for an aggro deck.
Yeah.
Also because Trial of Zeal, and I forget what the white trial does again.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing stuff like
I could see them being used, the red and white trials and cartouches being used in a Boros aggro deck in Standard.
Boros or Naya, since they seem to be pushing like the Naya Exert deck, heavy aggro. Yeah. Just like if you can even if you can manage to equip it to something big that's going to be swinging in for a lot, in like, since they're both 1-drops, you could just like hit them on, swing in with what's the Ancrop Crasher.
Oh yeah,
that gains menace.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
oh
menace,
god, he's stupid
taste,
powerful.
First strike.
Yeah.
Make it big, make it hurt, and then you just like swing in with that. Turn 5 is probably the soonest you'd be able to get that sort of thing off. But it'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, but like in limited, probably if I had to give one card that just was the best thing in limited for me was definitely Desert Celadon. And originally, before I played my first game, I didn't really grasp how slow this format was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I made a quick aggro deck, and then I played my first game, and then I completely changed my deck, and I threw these 5/6 drops in when I was only running 1/6 drop, like I was running one Celadon, and I threw in the 3 more that I had, the 2 more that I had, and then the 2 big angels that weren't the Mythic Angel, and God, that Celadon is good, because he's a super big threat, and cycling just makes it so powerful, because you could just get rid of it if you need to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, because a lot of people are going to be, especially if we see more sealed events, a lot of people are probably going to be forcing 3-color. That's probably what they're going to be wanting to do.
So many people played 3-color.
I think it was only the Rising Sun guy who I played against who wasn't playing 3-color. Actually,
yeah.
Because I know Isaac was playing 3-color for a while.
James was playing 2-color.
James was playing 2-color. I know I was playing 3-color. The first guy I played against was doing 2-color, actually.
Yeah. It was about an even split, honestly.
Yeah, the second guy I was playing with, I think, was doing 3-color.
Yeah.
He helped me with my deck a lot.
Yeah.
I managed to balance it out. I mean, like, really, if you're going to do 3-color in this format, it really depends on how many copies of Evolving Wilds you can pull and how many, like, really good fixing you can pull. Because the set has nice fixing. Better fixing than I would have thought for something that's got 3-color as less of a motif and more of a nice little side thing that kind of exists for the next set, which will probably have 3-color as a proper motif.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the card so far?
I like them. I think this is gonna be a real fun limited format. I'm interested to play some sealeds on MTGO, and I had a lot of fun at the pre-release.
I really need to work out a way to get out to draft. I don't know when they're holding draft next, because our store does them Fridays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I won't be able to get out to that. But I want to draft this because I want to see how it handles with draft.
Yeah.
Because the way the sealed went was really interesting, and I think especially if you get like a really nice pool in draft, you could probably make some really interesting decks, and I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities for like janky decks, like maybe a tribal deck if you want.
I've seen people just watching MTGO with LRR and a few other streamers. I've seen people, since it just went up on MTGO yesterday.
Yeah.
Playing Cat Tribal and Minotaur, like those are both viable tribals in draft, which is surprising.
Yeah, and I think I could definitely see stuff like, if you really wanted to do like a bird control deck, I think you could do that if you got Aven Mind Sensor as your rare, which I wish I'd pulled in the pre-release. There's every time I look at this set, ever since the pre-release, I've been like, why didn't I pull any of these cards? There are so many cards I want to like screw around with. I think this might be up there with. I really liked Eldritch Moon a lot, and I think like aesthetically and functionally, this might be up there for some of my favorite sets. I think I think it's interesting. Regal Caracol's cool. Kind of a high cost lord, but 3 bodies for 5 is...
Yeah, I mean, in limited it's just insane. Like in limited, that's 7 power for 5 mana that all has vigilance and lifelink. Like,
you play that,
that's insane.
You play that turn 5, you get it in with like the other cats you already have on the field. You wish Oketra was a cat.
Yeah.
And then you swing for you get in a fairly large amount of damage because everything's getting +1/+1.
Yeah.
From your Regal Caracol. And you just you drink your opponent's blood and they hate you forever now.
Yep. Yeah,
I know Approach of the Sun was a really.
It was because when he first played it against me, I'm like, oh yeah, that jank weird card, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lose to that.
Yeah,
I can't do anything to stop that.
I think, especially now that we have like all of these white and blue draw spells, I think we might actually see an approach to the Sun deck in Standard.
Because like he got it down to 5 turns. Because he just was cycling so much.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what was crazy? In my first match against him, he managed to get it at turn after he played it.
Oh wow.
Like he just drew a ton during the next turn.
Oh wow.
And just played Approach to the Sun.
Oh wow, yeah. I actually I finished one of my matches and because you played him the second round, right? Yeah. The third round, I was watching his game, and he was about to he put Second Son away, and he essentially said, like, it's the next card on top of my deck, I'm going to win. And he goes to his draw step, draw, and then he goes main phase, cast, approach the Second Son, and he extends the hand, and his opponent was just like, not negate. I think was it negate? Negate's not in the set.
No, Negate's not in the set.
What was it?
It was an Aether Revolt.
Yeah.
Is what Negate
What was the counter? He played a counter spell.
Because we have a few good counter spells in here. I think if people actually sat down.
Oh, I think it was just cancel. I think it was just cancel. Yeah, and he's just like I won the game. Just cancel.
Yeah.
And then his opponent he passed, and his opponent swung for game.
Yeah.
He was at like 7.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the main thing that's stopping. I would laugh my ass off if like the 2 major Azorius decks to come out of this new set Approach the Sun, Azorius Control with like the stuff from Kaladesh and Aether Revolt that was all heavy Azorius Control with no real build around. Like there was clearly they were clearly trying to do something with it. Azorius Control over in Kaladesh, and then it just didn't really come to fruition because they got their boss, but they didn't really have the control spells. And now with Amonkhet, we've got stuff like all those cards that bring down the cost of your blue and white spells. You've got Aven Mind Sensor. You've got what else do we have?
You have some interesting things.
Like there's white removal in this set, right?
Not really. I mean, most of the gained stuff is like
most of the
stuff it gains is just kind of possible
Gideon's
threats.
Intervention.
Gideon is a good threat for a control deck, even because
especially if you can get him down to 2 mana.
Yeah, there's not really anything that reduces things for white. Cause,
there is.
Which?
Are you forgetting about the cycle of legendary
only creatures?
Oh, is it only creatures?
Yeah, it only reduces creatures.
Damn you, Gideon! Why are you only a creature some of the time?
Yeah.
Why can't you just be Platinum Angel?
Yup.
That's what we need in the game. A
3 mana Platinum Angel.
That would be.
That's a 4/4 indestructible.
I love how balanced Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Yup.
God.
Well, fitting for this set.
Fitting for this set. I don't know. It hasn't gone quite Yu-Gi-Oh yet. Is it only creature spells?
White creature spells, yeah.
Well, I mean, Aven Mind Sensor has a 2-drop.
Yeah, that's good.
Or who's an Azorius control card that's just been kind of sitting around that people sometimes touch.
Spellqueller?
Yeah.
Spellqueller is a 2-drop
Spellqueller as a 2-drop would be silly.
Well, Spellqueller is a 2-drop that either taps an opponent's creature or creates a token. Sounds fun.
Both.
If you have both.
For both.
Yeah. I mean, in that deck I wouldn't run Kefnet's Monument because it's not that good, and it does blue spells, and Baral is just better.
Yeah.
Because Baral does for everything.
Yeah, Baral does blue everything.
Baral does every color instance of sorceries.
If you pull Baral late in the game, you can use this to bring your Baral down to a 2-drop or a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, 1-drop Baral, 2-drop Aven Mind Sensor.
Yep.
People cry and children scream.
Yep.
Lovers cried and the poem streamed. Blah.
Yeah.
I
had the idea.
Imagine if invocations were standard legal.
No.
And then no one was happy ever again.
Yeah. And then Force of Will went to $400
for a few months.
Yep.
Oh, that would hurt.
Yeah.
What other?
I was just thinking, if you want, we can go our favorite card of the set for each color, just in general. So for white,
Approach the Sun.
Yeah, Approach the Second Sun is cool. For me,
Approach the Sun or the Cartouche.
I would say Glorybound Initiate for me, because I just love that card. I love the combo of it with not Eyes in the Skies. I can't remember the name of that card from Innistrad.
I think I know the one. Because it just...
That's basically an Anthem.
Was it in SOI?
It was in Shadows, yeah. It's that white Anthem that is...
I wonder if you could toss... Because, I mean, like, once again, Niagara decks...
Always watching.
Always watching.
Yeah, because him with Always Watching just makes... Here, I have a 5/5 attacking on turn 3.
Could be a 6/6.
With lifelink. A 5/5 with lifelink attacking on turn 3.
And Vigilance.
And Vigilance, yeah.
And it could be a 6/6 turn 4 if you equipped it with Cartouche of Solidarity.
Yeah, or other things.
For strike.
I mean, well, actually, or just on turn 4, you can have it as a 10/10 attacking with anything that gives it double strike.
Yeah, I mean, like, in theory, you could just get this thing stupidly big.
Yeah, I was trying to work on a deck with that always with that Exert guy, Always Watching, and Insult.
Yeah. From
Insult to Injury. Just here, I'm going to do 10 to you on turn 4. Well, I'm going to do 5 to you on turn 3, and then 10 to you on turn 4, and then you're dead. So,
although with Insult to Injury, I think the idea is that you're just like 4 damage.
Well, yeah,
for
like
6.
Like, yeah, but I mean, also I could for 3 damage, and that guy swinging for 5, you can just do 10, because you can just cast the first half of Insult. First half of Insult.
Yeah, that's probably what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, what about blue cards?
Blue cards.
Blue card next. This one's hard for me, actually. I really like a lot of the blue cards.
I'd say Curator of Mysteries for me. I love Cycling, and he's just a really cool big Sphinxman.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I mean, we also have Vizier of Many Faces, and I really like Doppelganger effects.
Yeah,
really
same.
But I also like Kefnet. I think Kefnet's got an interesting design. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. There's also Pull From Tomorrow, which is a stupid card.
I'd have to say mine's either Curator of Mysteries or Drakehaven, because, again, cycling and making 2/2 flyers is real fun.
Yeah. Whenever you cycle.
Yeah, you can pay 1 and get a 2/2 flyer.
Yeah. Which that's an instant include in the maybe existent Grixis discard deck.
Yeah.
Like, that's also basically all you're running blue for?
Somebody suggested was being a real big dickbag and playing the new cancel art because it looks like Force of Will, and just cast a spell, Force of Will, and exile a blue card, and if they catch it, then who cares? But I could tell you, playing Canadian Highlander a lot of people won't catch that. And you can get away with that. That's a real big dickbag move, but you can get away with it.
If I white out the word cancel and replace it with Force of Will, does that count as a legal proxy? Can I do that?
I mean, there's no such thing as legal proxies, but whatever. Yeah.
You
can do that. I mean, the art looks very similar. The cancel art is really pretty for this one.
Yeah, no, you look at cancel, and it just kind of looks like the new Force of Will art, but from further away.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even doing? Also, how do you embalm an illusion?
I don't know.
Like, that's like a big philosophical question right there.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next color before I start thinking too deeply about that.
Yes.
Okay,
for black. Shadow of the Grave.
There's a lot of nice cards.
Again, for cycling, Shadow of the Grave. Again, I really like Canadian Highlander, and there's a stupid combo with this card that's basically Storm.
And I really like Cruel Reality flavor-wise, because any card that makes Gideon cry makes me happy. So there's also Archfiend of Ifnir.
Yeah, Archfiend also, because cycling, like, he's great. I love him.
Yet another zombie anthem.
I mean, you could also just go with also you could just go with what are people calling it? Black Delver, the Bone Picker. Black Delver, because it's, scroll down. Yeah. It's a 3/2 flying death touch for 1 black mana, which is basically, it's better Delver of Seacrest. No.
Yeah.
What's his card's name?
Hey, it's got Morbid.
What's the card's actual name?
Delver of Secrets.
Delver of Secrets. Yes.
Yes. It's one of my favorite cards on Innistrad. I'm not going to forget its name.
Yes.
I don't know though. Like, other than that, I like Wasteland Scorpion just because it's a really pretty looking card. I like Final Reward because it's just, like, generally speaking, a decent removal spell for once. I like Shadow of the Grave's interesting. I like Cruel Reality. I like Bantu. There's not really a whole lot of black cards I don't like here, honestly. Dread Wander is interesting. Onto red.
Yeah. Like, red's my favorite color. This is harder for me.
Oh, really? I know exactly what card.
It's... I love Insult because I love Double Strike, and this can be... You can have this and Double Strike and just... You can quad the damage. And... Also, Harsh Mentor is cool. I don't know.
I think, personally, my favorites are Soulscar Mage, Glorybringer, and the one and only, what's it called? Glorious End.
Oh, yeah.
The super, super hilarious mythic.
Yep.
That is going to ruin many a person's day, I feel, at some point.
In Commander.
And only Commander.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to have to give it to Combat Celebrant, because God, do I love taking extra combat effects.
Yeah.
Like, I love those so much. And he's one of the most playable weird mythic taking extra combat effects that we've gotten in the past little while.
Are you still going to make that deck?
Yeah, I might. I don't know.
You should. Okay, onto green.
Onto green.
And then multicolored.
Sure.
And artifacts. We should probably also do artifacts.
So, I want to give it to Vizier of the Menagerie because he's stupid good.
Yeah. Like, there's Vizier, there's Champions of Runus.
Which
just for,
like, I might also, because, like, I love that card. I like Exert as a mechanic, and he's stupid good.
It's really great in the Naya Exert aggro deck.
Yeah.
Where, like, you can just Champions of Runus into... I don't know, Scaled Behemoth, a 6/7 with
Oketra?
Oketra, since you'll probably have enough creatures.
Yeah, like, you can just, I mean, like, my Naya Exert deck just runs gods, and, like, one of the reliable ways of just, like, Champion of Ronus into a god, into any god and just slam a few gods. Like,
Greater Worm.
Yeah, Greater Sandworm's sweet.
But,
I mean, if you're gonna go with a Sandworm, you go with Sandworm Convergence.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it almost makes me wish that we were back in RTR again so I could populate my big worms and just make people hate me.
Yeah.
I really, all I'm asking for next set, Naya Worm Commander.
Yeah.
Give me the big green, white, red worm, and then I'll be happy. I also like the green cartouche, but I like all the cartouches, so whatever. Mouth gave us the Hippo token.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Do you want to do multicolor or artifacts first?
Multicolor.
Multicolor has...
So counting the Aftermath spells that aren't monocolor, I don't know. Some of the Aftermath spells are cool. I don't really like...
We have Failure to Comply, aka what if we made Reflector Mage just a spell that you can only use once, yawn.
And worse.
Yes.
It was significantly worse.
I mean, yeah, Reflector Mage is still in this format.
He's banned.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Surprisingly. Also, surprisingly, we still haven't reached, with the new standard ban, we still haven't reached the most standard bans in a single format. Because Mirrodin.
Right, all the artifact Mirrodin happened, yeah.
Because Mirrodin had like 8 cards banned. It was stupid.
I know what we'll do. We'll ban all of the vanillas in Kaladesh.
Just to have we have the most banned cards of any format.
Every single one. It'll be great.
Yeah, but back to gold cards.
I really like Bounty of the Luxa. I really like Hepatra. All of the legendary creatures.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it to Enigma Drake or Honored Crop Champion just because, like, those are my colors, and I love Enigma Drake so much, and Honored Crop Champion seems really good.
I'm bouncing back and forth between Neheb because it won me it won me so many matches.
Oh, he's stupid.
Or Bounty
like,
of
crazy.
the Luxa just because it's
awesome
blue-green Simic card, and I love Simic, so I don't want to say Nissa. I like Nissa, but I don't like that Nissa is Nissa. I would have preferred an Amonkhet Planeswalker that does that.
Yeah.
I get why there aren't a whole ton, but I would have significantly preferred it. As for artifacts...
I mean, I really like Edifice of Authority. That thing won me a lot of games just by sitting behind that and worship and just, you can't win. But I don't even think it's my favorite thing with brick counters.
Yeah, I think honestly, I like Oracle's Vault a lot. Like, the moment I saw Oracle's Vault, my mind was just racing with all these ideas that I could use to abuse Oracle's Vault, because it's such a silly card that in theory could get you so far. Yeah. There's also Pyramid of the Pantheon, which might actually be the best mana rock in Standard right now.
Yeah.
I don't think
it might be.
I don't think there's any that really trump it right now, are there?
Not really, if you don't count Terrarion, which doesn't see play at all. So, I don't know. I mean, Throne of the Godpharaoh is crazy and limited. I lost one of my games to that because I'm just like, I can't not attack or I'm not going to ever win. And I'm just going to take a ton of damage.
Yeah. And then, like, with Pyramid of the Pantheon, you can just... Like, this makes 3-color decks viable. And since it's a 1-drop, you can usually use it as a reliable mana sink if you don't get... like a good 2-drop early enough in the game. I think it could even see playing Standard.
Yeah.
What about lands, not counting the bicycles?
Then the Cradle of the Accursed.
Yeah. Cradle of the Accursed, a cool card.
Yeah, it makes tokens. It's a land that makes tokens.
Yeah.
It's just good. I mean, I don't like Cascading Cataracts. I don't think that's a good card.
I don't think that's going to see pet.
Well, I don't think that's a good card for Standard. I think that's
I like Painted Bluffs, but I think...
card for Commander.
I like Painted Bluffs, but at the same time we also have...
I mean, it's just a reprint.
We have
thousands versions of that card too. I love Painted Bluffs as art.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that we got more deserts. I hope we get either 2 or like a few more deserts. I don't know. Maybe just enough deserts in the next set so that we have a round number of deserts. I don't know.
Painted Bluffs would be really great if we had more cards that searched out deserts.
Yeah.
Like if we had an Evolving Wilds for deserts and more deserts in the next set. Which, I mean, given what Nicol Bolas looks like he's doing on Amonkhet and destroying everything, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more desert.
Yeah.
Maybe only desert. Maybe that's all Amonkhet will be. Desert and blood. It'll be fun. Yeah. Take the kids.
Yep.
Run away with them, or they will die.
Yeah. So...
favorite invocation. Not counting the gods.
Not counting the gods. Since they're cards that existed before, I'm just going to base it off art, and then I'm going to say Counterbalance, because teeter-totter.
Yeah. No, I'm just basing it off art. It's either Divert or Days.
Yeah.
Like, Divert's my...
We got in the Magic Story, this week's Magic Story, we got to see that Days art, the full art of that Days, which looks really amazing. Yeah, I would just say Counterbalance because it looks awesome. So, want to talk about the
Hour stuff?
Yeah, stuff about with Hour, or just about Amonkhet predictions or whatever.
Well, I mean, that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, my money's on Hour of Devastation, 3-color focus set. Maybe, no. No. Put that away. No, I'm thinking 3-color focus set. I'm thinking we're going to be... I think it's going to have, like, heavy in Grixis. I think we're going to see more forcing of these color things that we've been like these various 3-color decks that we have right now. Like we have Esper Control as a thing. We have black something. I'm still looking. I'm like, what is black right now? What's Jund right now? It's counters.
Jund is counters. Yeah.
Bant is Embalm. Naya is aggro. Grixis is discard.
Yeah.
And I think we could see really interesting stuff. We already have a Naya, like a centerpiece for the Naya aggro deck with Exert.
Yeah.
Being what's her name? The mythic legend. Who is Gruul with white, which I see like unless we get like gods, I can see most of our like major 3-color creatures being cards like Samet.
Which I very much like because of I think that's really interesting design space, taking it of this character is 2-color, but because of their current situation, they have an activated ability.
Yeah.
Which I think that's really interesting because I think that is the reasoning for why Simud is.
Although it's not just an activated ability, because I spent a while after this card came out, and even more so after the pre-release, looking it over and comparing like how this card's designed. Human Warrior predominantly a white thing, but it's a Gruul card here. She has Flash, which is an ability that you see a fair bit in green and white, and blue as well.
Actually, looking at it,
Double Strike is predominantly red and white. Vigilance is green and white, and then Haste is green and red.
Yeah.
So you've got like this really interesting, well-designed creature who also has an Anthem ability, which is a very white thing, but gives your creatures a red ability.
Yeah.
So it's such an interesting and well thought out design that I want to just push the white cartouche on her right now and give her first strike and make everyone sad in my Commander game.
I mean, thinking about it now, my last statement makes less sense because I'm thinking less character-wise.
Yeah.
I think Simut would have been a green-white character
in any other circumstance.
And then this circumstance when she's become disillusioned with the society and everything.
Yeah.
Her order part of her character has taken a back seat, and the red rage and disruption has.
I missed Boros Johnny
back. Yeah.
Like that, because like we see that a lot with mono white characters where it's like, hey, look, I'm angry now, time to add red. But this is an interesting take on that sort of like, story progression as a character, and I really hope she gets more spotlight in the story, more spotlight than the Gatewatch, who I like the Gatewatch, but like the Gatewatch for the most part, the 2 members that matter are doing their own thing right now.
Yeah. And
then Nissa's got stuff with Emrakul.
Yeah.
And Gideon's doing his trial stuff.
Yeah.
And Chandra's around because her plot line's over, so what are you gonna do?
There's interesting things with Amonkhet. I don't know about the whole 3-color thing. I actually saw somebody propose Bolas being 5-color, which I personally think is a little unlikely. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's possible.
I'm just not I'm not sure how they'd pull it off.
I think the hardest part would be green.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, like maybe white. It's just he's been gone for so long. He's also just proven with the Infinite Consortium that he's kind of a shitty leader.
Yeah.
So
I mean, white doesn't have to be leader. I mean, I think the white part of his color identity would be coming from respecting the society, the societal archetype, like the structure of the society that's become of Amonkhet while he was away.
Yeah.
And just because that obviously wasn't his doing, that happened. Same with the green, which just kind of happened by chance, I guess. Because what some people have been saying about him becoming 3-color, that he created since he created this theory is also working on he created the gods, which I don't think he did.
I don't see
because
that.
I see him doing a minimal amount of effect on.
I could see this
the plane, where he really just showed up really, really early in the plane's lifespan, and possibly instituted a threat with the zombies and demons, and then became a god. But he didn't really change the structure of the plane or anything. I guess like architecture-wise, because of the whole horns.
The horns.
Everywhere.
I think he got here early enough in Amonkhet's development to have like some cultural bearing, but I think ultimately, like, especially given the Egyptian mythology parallels that they seem to be going for this set, I think some people are probably going to wise up to the fact that on Amonkhet in the story that you have Nicol Bolas, who is the end bringer. He's set in this setting. He's here, he's a giant dragon. He comes across the desert and he will wipe out your entire city in one day. And that's his thing. It's not... I don't think... Our Hour of Devastation is probably going to be about as depressing for anyone who cares about this setting as it would have been for...
Zendikar.
For Zendikar. Yeah, anyone who likes Zendikar.
Or Innistrad.
Or Innistrad to a lesser degree. Like,
yeah.
Like, you look at what Innistrad looks like now, it's like, oh no, there's tentacle monsters in my grim horror, and now...
And everybody there is just, like, carrying on.
Yeah, it's like
I don't care that this werewolf has got tentacles, it still just dies to my axe.
Yeah, like, so long as you swing your axe hard enough, the tentacles don't matter.
Yeah.
And sure, there's something in the moon now psychically influencing you a bit, but what's the difference between that and the church, really?
Yeah.
Like, and sure, Frog Cult. Cult.
I mean, a lot of Emrakul influenced things just kind of died.
Well, a lot of them are still alive. Like, you still have the what are they called?
The Hell Pack?
The Hive Pack.
Oh, it's the Drone Pack.
The Drone Pack, that's what they were called.
The Drone Pack. Like, the Drone Pack's still just roaming. That's the only one we have confirmed. That and
the vampires.
Vampires are still
the vampire
alive. We don't know about the humans, because as far as we know, presumably they can't really survive without being held together by Emrakul's influence.
Yeah, they probably... I wouldn't be surprised.
A lot of them probably just kind of turned to a puddle of mush.
Yeah, because
especially the guy that just kind of... His weird mutation was, like, he didn't have bones and he was a big, like, stretchy...
Yeah.
Stringy jelly guy.
I mean, like... Yeah, because I guess a lot of the humans wouldn't have been prepared. Like, the Drone Pack were mostly werewolves. They can physically withstand lots and lots of bioaugmentation. They've been going through that all their lives. And then you have the vampires who, for the most part, were psychologically conditioned for centuries to worship Emrakul and were already feeling her psychic influence before she came onto the plane properly.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be... If you like Amonkhet as much as people liked Mirrodin, get ready for New Phyrexia, because Nicol Bolas is going to make everyone who likes this plane sad. Because nothing will be alive anymore.
Yeah.
I
personally... With the Emrakul things in this story this week, I'm fine with foreshadowing or Emrakul influencing Nissa in the background.
Yeah.
I don't want the Eldrazi to come back, because we just finished that. Like, give us a break. Like, we just finished 2 back-to-back big, long arc with the Eldrazi, which, it was still interesting, but it got boring.
Yeah.
The Eldrazi got boring, and... I was very excited to leave Innistrad and to have a new threat that wasn't just more Eldrazi.
Let's be honest, though. What to tack onto an extremely boring character like Nissa than a plot that overstayed its welcome greatly?
Yeah.
Like, I think honestly, what I'm hoping they do with Nissa is, like, Emrakul mind controlling Nissa forever, and just no more Nissa anymore, please. God, I hate Nissa. I hate her so much.
Yep.
Like, she wasn't an awful character. I just wish we'd gotten the chance to see the personal growth she somehow got retconned out of between original Zendikar and the, and, like, updated Zendikar because she didn't keep any of her elf racism stuff through any of that. And like I can completely understand Wizards and Hasbro wanting a character who people can look at and be like, hey, she's not kind of a Nazi.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you don't give us a chance to see this character's personal growth, you're not going to be invested when they come away from that personal growth we didn't get to see as a boring
It's
hippie.
also kind of fine that it would be fine if they didn't show us that.
Yeah.
But they still acknowledged that she grew as a character and changed. Like, I like Nissa. She's a cool character. I'm glad that she's getting more characterization and more story for herself. And I didn't like that we brought this racist character, that her character arc and trait was that she wanted to kill all the vampires and was very elf racist.
Yeah.
And
it's like, elves are the best because I spent too much time on Lorwyn with the elves there.
Like, and then she also... But then she's like, we're just rewriting her character. Yeah. And I'm fine with the reason why they were, but I'm more... They didn't acknowledge that she did.
Yeah. Like it never comes up. And I think maybe it could have come up if she'd gotten any interaction with Sorin at all in Return to Innistrad, or any interaction with... Did she interact with anyone else on Zendikar?
Not really. Not really. I mean, also with the story this week, Jace saying to the Gatewatch, let's split up and look for clues, is not a good idea, seeing at what happened on Innistrad. It means, hey, half of the Gatewatch don't show up be in the story for half of the block until I need you guys to help me kill the big bad guy.
To be fair, Jace is actually an interesting character, and he deserved the bulk of the Innistrad plot, and I think that was interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if he really deserves the Amonkhet plot, but honestly, the way the Amonkhet plot's going, I'm absolutely afraid it's just going to be, here we are again, Aether Revolt 2, this time against the gods.
I mean, I don't see that happening. I think the cases of, like, Samut and the people revolting is so, like, singular that I think it's going to be, we're gonna fight Bolus.
Yeah.
Because Bolus came back, he came out of the sun or whatever reasoning that he's not here. And they get wrecked. Yeah. They totally were, because especially with how much foreshadowing they were doing with Johnny not wanting to go because they were being dumb and running straight into a big fight.
Yeah.
And then, like, Gideon is emotionally distraught.
Yeah.
Through the whole interactions with the gods. And,
you know, like... You know what would be interesting, actually?
What?
Well, I've been thinking for a while because of the whole, like, Gideon-Elspeth parallel stuff.
Yeah.
How interesting would it be if Oketra was the one who killed Gideon?
That would be interesting. Especially with the arts we have. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want Hazoret to...
Well, I don't know if Hazoret would make sense.
I kind of want Hazoret to, again, for the parallels, also Spear.
Spear? Oh, well, yeah,
Biden,
Spear.
Biden also...
Oh, yeah.
Because of, where is it? It's on the red card.
No, that's a spear in this instance. It's not
not that.
The one where Hazoret's like
about to kill somebody and Gideon is saving them. And,
how indestructible are you when
because you can see his shield, his indestructibleness shield is cracking. I forget which. That is that a what
attacking
card?
Gideon when he's not a creature.
Yeah.
I think Gideon's death would make an interesting would bring some interesting stuff, especially if we're going to Theros again in the future.
Gideon's intervention.
Although I'm still betting he's either going to die on New Phyrexia or he's gonna die on Theros.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to die here.
He could. I'd see a possibility, but I don't. I think honestly, I think if he's
especially because we know we're not going to. We know for sure now that we're not going to.
Dominaria next
or anywhere. We're going to a new plane next.
Yeah.
So we're gonna I feel the Gatewatch would want to. I feel the natural story to go after Gideon dies is to go to Theros / if he dies on Theros.
Yeah, if he dies on Theros, it's probably going to be either Erebos or what's his name? Heliod. It's going to be either Erebos or Heliod who kills him. If he dies on New Phyrexia, he's going to have an altercation with probably Elish Norn.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think we're ever going back to New Phyrexia. I think that the Phyrexians, the New Phyrexians will be a threat on another plane.
Probably.
But I do not think we're ever going to actually go back to previously Mirrodin.
I think it would be interesting to see, especially seeing what we've seen of Elish Norn's abilities on other cards. I think it would be interesting to, to have a point where you have Gideon, who is like the epitome of what a white mana character is.
Yeah.
And then Elish Norn, who is the absolute bastardization of white mana.
Yeah.
And just like have an altercation between that where Gideon is just like morally beaten down before being absolutely decimated by Elish Norn.
Yeah. I mean, personally, something I'd love to have happen in the story is the Gatewatch goes to Theros.
Yeah.
The God Council, excluding Heliod, essentially say, Heliod's a dick. Can you help us kill him?
Yeah, especially...
And then they decide, with Ajani's help and everything, because that's how they would know. They decide is like, okay, what's in it for us? Ajani suggests, bring Elspeth back and we'll do that.
Yeah.
And Erebos lets Elspeth back from, lets Elspeth come back to life after they kill. So they go to kill Heliod, and in the big fight, Gideon gets parallels with Elspeth, gets run through with the spear of Heliod. And he is dead. And so, total dead. And then, after the battle, once they finally kill Heliod, they essentially go to the gate to the underworld, and
Elspeth
Gideon and Erebos is standing there, and Erebos lets Elspeth come back to life, not as a returned or anything, fully back to life, and welcomes Gideon as an old friend.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really heartwarming, good end to Gideon as a character.
Yeah.
And his whole character arc. With
plus
if you had Gideon's irregulars standing just in the doorway too, it would
need to be
a great character. Art. Yeah. It would be an amazing character.
What card would you reprint with that sort of art?
I don't know.
There's got to be a card that's like a mono white remove spell. Journey to Nowhere. Oh.
Journey to Nowhere.
That's what we need. A depressing Journey to Nowhere reprint? God.
Yeah. I mean, the whole, ending of Gideon's character arc is essentially melancholy. Because he's going to die, but die in the right way. Yeah. Also, before, in the stories leading up to that, Gideon's showing his black mana side more and more. Essentially with his desperation and...
What's up, Gideon?
And his hate towards gods.
Yeah.
Where he essentially... He fights with Heliod with his last strength.
Yeah.
And his indestructibility breaks.
I think
Heliod kills him.
I think a lot of Amonkhet's going to be setting up Gideon's hang-ups with
gods.
Deities and how they're treated on other planes. And I think a lot of Ixalan, if we get any focus on him at all, because I think Ixalan's going to predominantly, given what we know of the old
I mean,
art,
I potentially think that Ixalan doesn't have the Gatewatch on it. As far as what we know from the pack arts.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting
later when it's Ajani.
No. 5 main Gatewatch, not including the Ajani.
Yeah.
I'm meaning, because I think it would be interesting to do the fall block being, here's in the style that we did before we introduced the Gatewatch, old style, here is Johnny's... It's a parallel story to what's happening on Amonkhet, so roughly the same time. This is what Johnny's doing. He's gone because he gathered up, like, 2 other planeswalkers. Yeah. Say, just throwing things out like Narset, or Dak Faden, or Sarkon, who cares? Like, any of these not really bad guy planeswalkers. Yeah, Kiora. People that Johnny could ally with. Yeah. And they're essentially, like, they're getting the gang back together kind of thing. Like, we're picking up people because we're going to go kill Heliod. And then the Ixalan story doesn't really have a big arc kind of thing. It's just kind of this is the in-between stuff of a Johnny going and visiting a few planes to look for planeswalkers.
And then I think after that we have...
And then a Johnny kind of figures out, you guys got wrecked by Bolas? Okay, and we do Dominaria for the 25th anniversary for the spring set.
And then after Dominaria, we go to Theros.
Yeah.
Gideon dies.
Yeah.
And sad.
Also, because I think we're going back to Dominaria soon with the whole Raven Man stuff.
Yeah.
Like, currently in the Magic story, there's so much, like, foreshadowing to so many different stories. Yeah, like, and I don't know how you guys are going to possibly
get it all done.
Fill it. Like, because it's like, you're foreshadowing for stuff that can at the earliest be next year.
Yeah, because we've
and
got,
then
like...
at the late, like, and then it could also quite possibly be in 3 years that you're foreshadowing stuff.
Like, I mean, like, we had the whole altercation between...
I mean, who knows?
Between Emrakul and Jace. Yeah. In Jace's mind, where we had, like, the Gideon stuff that was clearly foreshadowing to an eventual return to Theros. We had the Nissa stuff that was foreshadowing to something.
The Johnny stuff foreshadowing Elspeth coming back.
Yeah.
The, like, Liliana with the Raven Man. Liliana with her demons. Like, so many different things.
We have like, all
Narset foreshadowing Sarkon coming, like,
yeah,
being involved. Like, Tameo, all that foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing that
it's gotta go somewhere.
Aren't going to pay off for a long time.
Yeah.
Which, I... Like this foreshadowing with Nissa and Emrakul is very likely not going to pay off for many blocks.
Yeah. Although I do think it's interesting that we have 2 characters now who have, like, clearly very powerful psychic links to Emrakul.
Yeah.
Because we have Nissa, and then we also have Jace's psychic link to Emrakul.
Yeah. And an interesting thing, like, in the story... This week's story, Emrakul, presumably Emrakul in Nissa's mind speaking, uses chess metaphors.
Yeah.
The same, like, she did in Jace's mind.
I mean, she might not, just because, like Jace understands chess. Like, chess is Jace's thing.
Yeah.
It's been Jace's thing for a very long time.
Yeah.
He used similar metaphors during an altercation with Bolas and Tezzeret, right?
Yeah.
Like, he uses... chess comes up a lot when we're talking about Jace, and I think that's interesting because he is very... He's very much like... He's very king-like, not so much in the sense of, like, I am the ruler, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he's very much a king-like in the chess sense, where he has to move things one piece at a time. He can't reliably keep going forward, and he's also a lot like a pawn. Yeah. In that way, too, where he can only keep going forward, but he can't really go back.
Yeah. There's one thing that is funny, because the difference between once we started the Kaladesh block, the story was, people were thinking, possible places we can go to for new planes. It's like, Kaladesh was on the list, and there was a lot of these planes that we've never been to before to start new plots. Yeah. And then Kaladesh comes, and Tezzeret, like, Tezzy's there, and we got this. He opens this giant can of worms of 20 new plots and crazy stuff. And, like, one of the potential plots before we heard Kaladesh was gonna be the set after Innistrad. Yeah. It's like, hey, let's go to Vryn and see what's up there. Yeah. It's like, nobody wants to go to Vryn anymore because
we have all these things
there's so many things that we need to take care of. Like the Phyrexians is a really big looming threat. That
we've got...
eventually the Phyrexians are going to figure out how to get off... The new Phyrexians are going to figure out how to get off plane. Theoretically, the original Phyrexians are still alive. And then also, there's the Phyrexians on Elspeth's homeworld. So, yeah. like, there's a lot of Phyrexians that we have to take care of.
If Nicol Bolas dies, Tezzeret isn't really, like, man enough to do his own thing for long enough.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go running right home to New Phyrexia, and that's going to ruin everything. Because you know who knows how to make an interplanar gate?
Tezzeret.
Tezzeret knows how to make an interplanar gate.
Yeah.
And then that opens up a whole new can of worms. I want to see more Phyrexian mana mixing. I want to see if we do get a new a return to New Phyrexia, or like a return of the New Phyrexians. I want to see how different colored mana is fucking with these entities that are clearly not able to handle the emotional strain of being more complex beings than just drones.
Yeah. There was a funny, just speaking of New Phyrexia, there was a funny post.
Sweet.
That was just stupid conspiracy theories spun as magic. It's like, the Gatewatch faked the moon imprisonment. Stanley Kubrick directed EMN. And there was a bunch of different funny ones. The one I added was Mirrodin was an inside job, and Phyresis can't melt pure steel beams.
I mean, to be fair, in a quite literal sense, New Phyrexia was an inside job.
It was.
Inside the core specifically for a very long time.
Yep.
Anyway, I think we should probably sign off now. We're at an hour. Next week...
we'll be talking about something.
We'll be talking about something.
Probably we'll have a guest on next week. If we can get one. We'll find somebody.
If not, want to just...
We'll talk about stuff. Yeah, we'll dick around more. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have a guest on next week. So, hope you guys like this. Be sure to check out more episodes when they're out. We have a YouTube now, so I'm going to put that up on my Tumblr.
Subscribe.
Yeah, we're going to put that on Tumblr. And, so have a good day, and see you guys next time.
Yep. See ya.